But we also need to develop empathy, and high on that is altruism. Now, I've written something like 55 or so books, and the topic is always on usually on ethics, and I think empathy and altruism, the cultivation of empathy and altruism, not only creative self-fulfillment and individual realization, but that is also important. If a person cannot love others, if a person has no concern for others, if that person is selfish and self-centered, they're limited as persons. They're stunted, morally stunted. So a fully developed person is a person who has some capacity for appreciating the needs of others and allowing them to grow, and if they can, to help them to grow. We, in the secular humanist world, have emphasized the right to privacy. And we led the battle, in one sense, and we've come a long way. Of course, John Stuart Mill, the great 19th century philosopher on liberty, enunciates that. So we realize that in a good society, we ought to allow individuals to pursue their own private interests and inclinations without suppression. We also have defended, and we're on the frontier, I think back even 50 years ago, with many of the philosophers defending democracy against totalitarian Marxism. And there are certain forms of Marxism that are democratic. And you can be a democratic socialist. You don't have to be a capitalist. And in Europe, the socialist parties have power in many, many countries. But so we emphasize the democratic way of life. Whether you have private markets or social investments is open to discussion. But what's crucial is our emphasis on tolerance. Tolerance is a central humanist value. Tolerate the diversity of opinion, the diversity of taste, the differences of people. Some people find other individuals exasperating, but that's the nature of life, and that's the beauty of democracy, that every person can be a person in his or her own terms, as so long as he doesn't harm others and prevent them from being themselves. That's the principle. Do what you want, so long as you don't prevent others from harming others and inflicting harm upon them. I think if I were to find one value that is so crucial and needs emphasis, and I've done that in my writings in Free Inquiry, Skeptical Inquiry, and elsewhere, it's the importance of goodwill. I find that many of my atheist colleagues, and I speak as an atheist, have so much malice towards religion and hatred. They were, let me say, battered altar boys, or sons and daughters of rabbis, or products of fundamentalism in the South, that they've suffered. But nonetheless, I think that one should always try to develop goodwill. You may disagree with people fundamentally. I remember being at Columbia University, 50 years ago, and someone pointed out a person. They said to him, he's very strange. I said, why? He's a Republican. He was the only Republican in that class at Columbia. They only thought Democrats were worthwhile. My father was a Republican, so I came to appreciate Republicans. So I, of course, to the far left of that. But in any case, goodwill, it seems to me that the humanist movement has to emphasize goodwill. The goodwill that Joe Fox and Martha Knox, the Ox group, expressed so deeply. Goodwill. Yes, goodwill to all. What I usually do when I give a talk is what I'm going to do now. Please stand up. Everybody, stand up. Hug the person next to you. Hug the person on the other side if it's not your wife. You just hug your wife or your girlfriend. Okay. Yes, that should express. We unfortunately, now my colleague, Tom Flynn, I understand, gave a lecture here, and 2 weeks ago, he and I disagreed fundamentally. I believe in the universality of hugging. Even those you disagree with. But he takes a hard line against religion, and he's entitled to it. He's a battered altar boy, the only son in the family, no aunts or uncles. I had 93 aunts and uncles and cousins, so we hugged all the time. But yes, I think the humanist movement has to hug, love each other, appreciate that all human beings are human, and we do what we can to express an affectionate regard for them. You know, you can love more than one person. I've loved hundreds of people, my students, in the sense of, if you will, a Christian sense of love. That you love a person as a person, and you appreciate them. And that, it seems to me, the humanism of the future has to be affectionate. It's got to be positive. It has to exude empathy and altruism. Now we have many other important things to do. We accept our responsibilities for the well-being of society. We want to guarantee human rights for those who have been repressed. Africans, gays, handicapped people, people above 60, that's my class, the Asian, and so on.